We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll conduct the annual organizational meeting. I'll turn that over to Rick to do that.
So first I handed up a list of appointees that need to be done. First off, we have to reorganize the select board, chairman, vice chairman, and clerk of the select board.
Well, usually we've done the monthly meeting, I guess we do that every year, I don't know why, but
The monthly meeting?
monthly meeting.
We do have to do that, yeah.
And then the newspaper, we do that, we just go down the line, but I don't know.
So we need a motion from the board.
I'll move that we meet on the second Monday, generally at 6:30 PM in the town office.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Official newspaper of advertisement. Motion for the Vermont Journal.
I make a motion to continue with the Vermont Journal.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chairman of the Select Board.
Make a motion to nominate Robert Clinton.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion for Vice Chairman of the Select Board.
Motion Mike Ripley.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Motion passes. Clerk of the Select Board.
Want to keep that?
Hmm?
You want to keep that?
I guess so, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, sure.
Make a motion to nominate George.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I ask a question on that one?
Sure. It's all right.
What does the clerk actually do?
It'll
Well-
take- Go ahead.
Not too much really, but like sometimes if Jen's not here or if, like we go in executive session, I'll take minutes and stuff. There's probably a couple technical things, other things I could do, but
Okay.
I haven't. Why does it have to be McNamara?
Because he joined the meeting.
Huh?
Because he's in the meeting.
Oh, I thought it was like connected to this. I'm like, what?
Collector of
That's the good name.
delinquent taxes. Appointment.
I'll nominate Rick Chambers.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Collector or fence viewer. Hollis Quinn, everybody on this list has been notified and it's good.
I'll nominate Hollis Quinn to be the fence viewer.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Animal control officer, we have none. I've been in talks with Mr. Brendan McNamara, but he has not committed. So we'll move on to inspector of lumber, shingles, and wood.
I guess that's a no.
2 words.
I make a motion to nominate Wayne Gilchrist for the inspector of lumber and shingles and wood.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Weigher of coal.
I nominate Wayne Gilchrist to be the wearer of coal.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Tree warden.
I'll nominate Tim Calvers.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Alright.
All opposed? Emergency Management Director.
Make a motion to appoint Robert Glidden as the Emergency Management Director.
I'll second it.
That's Robert C.
C.
I was gonna
Yeah.
clarify, it's Robert C. Glidden. Any discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Town Health Officer,
I nominate Laura City.
He's got one more year.
sorry,
Oh, yes, she does.
my mistake.
Okay.
Um,
and what's the town service officer, is that ever, I don't think we've had that though, but that's been there for,
been there for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't answer that, I don't really know. Let's see,
fire warden's good, regional planning. commission.
Regional Planning Commission,
No,
No, she's good.
yeah.
that's still good.
You wanna switch you and,
I do,
Bruce.
that's the way it was voted on last year, and it was my mistake to put it this year.
right, so we don't have
Solid
to
waste.
vote on it, it's just, that's the way it was.
Right.
That's the way it was, but their one-year terms, they were voted on last.
Yeah, well, the regional planning, it says, is
Right, the Regional Planning,
Oh, alright, I see, I thought it wasn't expiring until,
No,
we have
no,
to
that's-
appoint it right now.
correct, and it will expire in
Alright, then on the regional planning commissioner, I'll make the motion to appoint Shirley Clark.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go to Solid Waste District Representative.
I'll nominate Rick.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
alright,
Opposed? Solid Waste District Alternate.
I would nominate Bruce McEnany.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor?
alright,
alright,
Opposed? Selectmen's representative to the local planning commission.
I'll nominate Jenny.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
alright,
alright,
Opposed? Green Up Committee Chairperson?
you got one town planning commissioner.
we did that,
Okay,
Shirley Clark.
Okay.
And,
Oh, no, that was the regional.
That was the
that was the
Sorry.
regional.
The local.
My bad, yep.
Bruce.
I'll
Jeff,
nominate Shirley Clark then, right?
I'll
Oh,
second
Bruce,
that.
I'm sorry.
For the town planning commissioner, the 3-year, 25, March 25, Shirley.
It's actually,
It's actually, it's Bruce, Jeff, and Tim that'll be up. And that date is confusing me too as well. They will be, those terms will expire in 27.
Okay.
Shirley and Miguel are 25 and 26 when they expire.
So we should do Shirley, right?
The three of them need to be nominated then?
Bruce, Jeff, and Tim, yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, we did that, yep. I'll nominate the three of them.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Alright,
Alright,
Opposed? Green Up Committee Chairperson? And it's a 1 year.
nominate Stephanie Knopfler.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Representative to the Regional Transportation Advisory Committee?
I
I'll
nominate.
nominate John Sadak.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Board of Water Commissioners? The only one up is myself.
Young is Leon Woods, he's not able to do that anymore.
Well, I didn't hear from him.
He's, no, I don't think he's able to.
I nominate Rick Chambers.
I'll second that.
And nominate Bob.
Mhm.
All in favor? All in- there's
So
a
it was
second,
Rick
Robert,
and Robert C.
and then-
Yep.
So we'll do the motion on myself first and vote on that.
Right.
So all in favor,
Aye.
All right.
opposed? I heard a nomination, but I didn't hear a second for.
Oh, I'll second that nomination for Robert C. Glidden.
All in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed? The Animal Pound, 1 year.
All right, Lucy McKenzie from the Humane Springfield Society.
I'll second
All in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed? And E911 coordinator.
I nominate Rick Chambers.
it. Second it.
All in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
And did you ever find out what the story was with the sexton?
I don't believe the sexton needs to be an appointed position.
Okay, I couldn't remember what was. How did he get there then?
Right.
It's all the same thing.
Was I believe when when there was a board of the cemetery, correct, that was disbanded
Mhm.
and went to sexton, and he was hired by Rich, not appointed.
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure that's how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've never done the section on this all the years I've been on.
Yeah.
No, I think you did. Right.
Oh, these are registers.
Turn the meeting over to,
I think the cemetery commissioner did it, but we are now the cemetery commissioner.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
so.
All right, we will
I'll make
convene,
a positive of that before next meeting.
we'll reconvene the monthly meeting. Approve the minutes of January 8th and February 12th. Everybody see them?
Yep.
What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as printed from January 8th and February 12th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none? You need to adjust your agenda.
I do not.
Your citizens, Margot?
So my usual request at this time of year, the use of the town greens for the townwide tag sale the last Saturday in July.
So move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I actually have some good news. TDS has made good. They have wired their entire catchment area with fiber, including the puffer brush. We have more and more people signing up for it, and more and more people transferring from Comcast to TDS, and they are thrilled with the service because fees are up and down the same, and it's a lower cost. However, if you have deals with Comcast, that may be better for you. We have about 20 properties that are un or underserved, and Shannon, are you in TDS catchment area or consolidated?
It would be TDS, but they don't come out our road.
You could probably pay to have them come.
Yeah, they came to the first house with the fiber, and that's where they stopped.
But how much because I have talked to families that have gone quite a distance and that cost was covered by TDS. Have you talked to them about it?
No, I'm not interested.
Oh, okay, so you're really pleased with what you have.
Mm.
So that's good to let other people know in that area. So, but you're the only house, so nothing.
No, there's two houses. There's one before mine and then mine.
Okay. So anyway, there are about 20 that I guess could be considering your option, but maybe not. But that's pretty amazing where we are today. So that's really good. The other thing is, I've been working with Brad on the Don't Pitch in the Ditch campaign, and we will be having the kids at school do artwork for that. The goal of that is to keep people from tossing things in the culverts, and because all ditches end up in culverts and drains. And the other piece of that is on Green Up Day, we really want to encourage people to check the ditches, pick up that trash, get the bottles and all that stuff out of there. So you'll be hearing more about it, you'll start seeing posters about it. Brad is the lead agency on that, and it's going to be the entire Black River watershed. And one of our messages is take care of the culvert on your property, but if there's a culvert adjacent to you or near you that you know is problematic, let the town know, take a picture, use GPS coordinates, so it's not so hard to find where that is. And let them take care of it. It is not going to prevent the biggest flooding we have in our town, that's for sure. I don't know what we do about that. We're working at getting money and we're working to try to do hazardous mitigation, but I don't know how you mitigate the river for places like Depot Street and Mill Street. That's above my pay grade.
Tag sale, you said last Saturday in July?
So
Yes.
that's stuff.
So the 27th, okay.
You ready? You selling big this year?
I'm not selling that.
Some people do.
All right.
Rob,
Yes.
I'd like to just speak. I've had a couple of conversations with Rick in the last couple of weeks. And I got Cavendish organized as far as GOP for the Republican Party. And right now we got about 5 or 6 of us. And I'd like to start having meetings here at the town hall, use the town hall as just as a meeting place. Hopefully we grow. If anybody else is interested, it's totally free to anybody. Rick and I, we talked about a couple of logistics of it and whether, you let one person in, everybody's gotta come in and hoping to like back up or be in front of either select or planning so that, it minimizes the town's effect of someone having to lock up after me. Unless you wanted to give me a key and I'm very trustworthy. And basically we're looking to stay organized and maybe put people for representatives for, town's interest, basically, so.
And basically, these conversations went, just like you were saying, it's difficult to have meetings outside of our business hours. We all agree that, it's a public place. But that was kind of my standpoint. It's difficult to have myself or somebody from the town office with keys here for meetings. Especially when one meeting's not bad, maybe 2, but you do for one, you do for all, and it becomes more troublesome, and we don't really have a policy on the use of the town office. And I understand that sometimes it doesn't necessarily work hour-wise until after 4:30.
Well, it's generally been for town business or town-related business.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's been any history of,
There has been, Rich used to be the chair of the GOP party and he would hold the meetings here.
here.
Well,
Oh,
Right, and I know other people have
Yeah.
asked, like the CCCA has asked for, the use of the room and stuff like that.
For workshops and stuff.
And I'm sure it was easier with you being able to walk up.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's where I was thinking, if I could be here at 4:30, maybe have a meeting at 5. This would be maybe once a month or once every other month. And get here at 4:30, have a meeting from 5 to 5:30, and then be out of here and ready for you guys to do whatever is coming after us.
Or could you even have it, while you're here, in here, if there wasn't anything else scheduled, like from 4 to 5, and then that way, when you close up,
That's easier for me, but it's not always easier for the people at the meetings. That's the problem.
Everybody that belongs to the group now, and I'm sure there's gonna be more that have a more open schedule, but we all work 9 to 5. And, 5 o'clock is, a good time for, maybe get out of work a little early and just make sure you're there. And I can certainly be here at 4:30 for changing of the guard, so.
Right.
I understand you probably lock everything else up, but maybe this room stays open, so. No wild parties.
yeah, maybe you could coordinate it so it's really not too much a burden on anybody that way.
And I totally understand, for him putting it for the board too. I think that he doesn't want to have all the responsibility upon himself, and I think it's probably a good idea. So I'd ask you guys to please let us use that, and we'll be responsible with it.
I would, obviously, when Rich ran the committee, it was easier for him just to have everybody meet here, so that he's not traveling.
Mhm.
I would put on the caveat of, I'm not against people using the town offices for meetings because it's a central point, but once it becomes a burden to either you or Jen or Diane or something, we just restrict it to town, town. But right now, I'm not opposed to it, unless it becomes this huge thing where like
Right.
now 19
And I can just
different committees
see that
wanna
being
meet
a
here.
possibility. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but wanted to have the open discussion about it beforehand, so in case it happens, so we could work.
So,
If that doesn't work out, they could always get hold of me and probably maybe set up something at the fire station.
Yeah.
Because we're there Tuesday nights, so if you need to do that, we can open up the Proctorsville station for you.
Appreciate that.
Another, yep.
Another option, if this one doesn't work out for you, just let me know.
Thank you.
and Cavendish might be open to the same thing.
Yep.
So you could always call them and ask their prudential building committee.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, that's it. We'll go on to discuss the town enhanced energy chapter.
Here we are again with the enhanced energy chapter. But as you remember, the planning commission had to go back and give a new, and I apologize, I thought we were gonna have representation, but by changing the date, they were not able to
We
come
lost
to.
them.
So, we've already had our informational meeting. It was turned into an informational meeting because it could not be a public hearing because of the planning commission. But we do need to schedule a hearing for this.
Can we schedule it before the next meeting?
I think that's a great idea
Just get it done.
Yep, that works.
because we have to have 15-day notice on this.
2 and 1.
Before the April meeting.
Yeah, does that work with everybody?
Like the hour before, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
When you
That's
say
how we-
before,
It's really,
Well,
I'm
that's how
like,
we
well,
did
what
it
day are you
before.
talking about?
We did it at 6 before.
Yeah, if we do it at 6 out of work.
I was gonna bring this up under other business, but I just was curious, I'm not gonna be able to be here on the regular meeting because of the solar eclipse, and I didn't know whether anybody else was gonna be gone or what, but.
That was my next question as well.
Yeah, okay. Whether,
Yes,
so,
I might be gone too.
you might be gone too, yeah, so.
So should we reschedule that
Yeah,
right
say,
now with,
what, the following Monday? Does that work? 15th?
You,
How's
I
that
know
work?
you said you're gonna be off sometime.
yeah, I can, unless I miss a flight, I'll be back.
Okay, so.
We have a Zoom option.
Yes, you do.
So
What day is that?
It's the 15th.
15th.
15.
Is that, and then I'm only curious because that's, usually the day taxes are due, but sometimes there's things are closed because you don't celebrate
Yeah,
Bennington
no.
Battle Day now, or the state does,
The
but,
state does.
State, that's what we in town don't.
but the town
No.
doesn't, we've never, yeah, so I didn't know if that was any, does that work for?
Yeah, that works. Does 15 work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good then.
So we want a motion, or, so we're gonna have the planning commission, or the enhanced energy chapter meeting, or hearing at 6 o'clock, and the regular select board meeting at 6:30, or immediately to follow,
Follow, yeah.
or 6:30 on the 15th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Alright,
Opposed, none? Okay, that good. We'll move to short-term rental planning commission's finding.
Shannon was more involved in this. I'm not gonna ask her to speak, but like without planning commission here, I sat in on the last meeting, but their findings are pretty much not to do anything currently on short-term rental.
Okay.
They had a lot of discussions, back and forth, different scenarios, and right now, they can't come up with, no registration, no anything. Is that correct, Shannon?
That's
Pretty
correct.
much.
So it's pretty much, no, leave it alone.
Yep, we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, it's pretty complex.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And what some towns are doing is not necessarily working either, so.
All right,
It's almost like you need a full-time to part-time person to
You would, and that was part of the
kind of
part of the
oversee, do
conversation.
inspections, they'd have to know all that information.
Yep, it's pretty intense when it comes to that, for sure.
we'll go to town partial mapping updating.
In the packet, I have enclosed the application, and the proposal. The proposal is, this was for a cost of $28,400, to update the mapping, parcel mapping, and I believe the last time it was updated was 2009. So we'd like to move forward on this.
So, having been on the ARPA committee, it seemed that we passed this to the select board, a number of them. And then the select board was going to sort of go through them and, either approve them so that people could be notified because everything has to be allocated by the end of the year. So I don't know, this is one of those.
Is
And so, but we haven't really I don't think we.
Thought we did that already.
We sort of accepted the list, but people haven't been notified, have they?
we have not had a
Right,
chance to
so then-
notify people, but
So I didn't know
it is
how that-
I thought as well that that the board voted on accepting at the amounts given. I thought it was.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Because we haven't, there's an amount of money left over.
Right,
And
which,
then one of the things we accepted is no longer viable, so that even adds a lot more money.
mm,
So I didn't know, is that just gonna trickle down as far as what we do with that, or are we gonna have
we'll have
how
some
that
board,
will play out?
we'll have some board discussion. It'll be on the agenda. So if everyone wants to start thinking of what they want to do with that, but the ARPA committee, that's pretty much was the decision that money would be left for the
Board's
board
discretion, yeah.
discretion.
And
But we
are,
haven't, it's not on, wasn't on tonight's, but it will be soon. And
are you aware that by the end of this month, there has to be a report filed?
Mhm.
Otherwise, we get screwed, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay, all right. We should have a motion to approve that amount for the mapping.
I'll make a motion, we approve. Is it 24,800 for mapping?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Right?
Okay?
Opposed? None?
And so that one's allocated, and then I guess we'll have to go through that somehow with the others too. Otherwise, why are we even doing this if we've already approved it? See, this is where I was like,
Right.
why are we,
But they had to sign the contract.
They have to sign.
we have to sign, but
Right.
if we already approved, we wouldn't have needed a motion. So that's, I'm just, to be clear with all of them, I don't know, maybe.
We haven't had a chance to notify everybody.
Yeah.
There is still a little bit of confusion and thought on the flow of money and how does it all need to go through the town, then reimbursement, stuff like that. So, I mean, there's more to it. And this being a town one, wanting to get it going, so it's
Right.
pretty simple and or quick and easy. Can I pass these to? I can do it after.
All right, if we're done, we'll go to cannabis committee discussion.
So after the vote to allow cannabis retail passing in Cavendish, the town of Cavendish has the option of having a local cannabis control board, which has to be sent to the state and notify them that they have one. That'll allow anybody applying for a license in town will also have to go through the local board as well. Not that there's an extreme amount of control that the local board has, but without having a local board, the licensing goes to the state, and they just approve it, and they don't send really anybody or the license. So then you need, in order to have any little bit of control or knowledge, you need to have a local board. And of course, the board can be comprised of the select board as well, like the liquor control board. So
I actually like that idea.
Have it under,
I think it should be done by the select board.
yes,
And then the board
definitely.
that controls it.
If we're gonna control the liquor, we should control that too,
Yeah,
as
we
much
should.
as we can.
Yep.
And maybe in the future, it's kind of still a new thing, maybe in the future the local boards have more control, so we'll be ahead of the game.
I think like other towns I've heard had, maybe select board member too, and then also had some from community, so that there was, some community input too, but.
I mean, these would be the regular cannabis control board meeting. They'd be very, you probably have to have one to go for goals and, expectations. But they won't need to be monthly meetings, but they would be warned meetings that the public could
Come to and have the
come to
input.
attend. But I think I need a motion for the town of Cavendish type of resolution for a local cannabis control commission.
I'll make a motion to have a control board for the cannabis, that being the select board.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, none? All right, we'll move on this summer concert series schedule.
Well, just before that, so how does that work exactly? Like, we formed it, but nothing will happen until somebody tries to make a proposal, I guess, right? And then we'll.
Right, because the board and the town, you can't make specific ordinances for cannabis.
For that.
They just have to, the local board has to make sure that they follow any ordinances or restrictions that we have that every business in town follows.
All right, concert series.
The CCCA has given me a letter with dates they would like to use the town green. It would be July 7th, July 10th, July 17th, July 24th, and July 31st, and August 7th for their summer concert series.
you see July 7th?
I did.
Yeah, it's
The third.
July 3rd and July
He said
10th.
August 7th.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I thought he said,
that's the
thought he started with July 7th. But July 3rd's the
It
Wednesday.
is July 3rd.
Yeah.
Up here it says 3rd, down here it says 7th.
All right.
Yep.
I think everybody got one of these.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
That's why I put
Yeah.
it in here. I
Yeah.
thought it was nice.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I put it on the agenda and then I got one in the mail that it's there. So,
Just adding it to my
All
calendar.
right,
Well, I'll move we allow the CCCA to conduct the wonderful summer concert series.
Second.
all in favor?
All right?
Aye.
Right,
All right.
opposed, none? Okay, there's not anything else? Annual informational meeting discussion.
there was plenty of discussion this year's informational meeting about annual meeting to get more participation, allowing more people. we put this on the agenda to kind of come up with ideas, what way the board is thinking, on what we can do to raise participation in the meeting.
How hard is it to move the meeting?
I don't believe it's hard because it needs to be a warned meeting,
Okay.
especially now that we're not voting. It
Voting.
being
Voting
an
on it,
informational
right.
meeting. As long as it's warned correctly, we
Why
can.
don't we move it to Saturday to see if we can get some more participation? Maybe somebody sells stuff, food, drink, whatever. Maybe we get high school kids to come do their community service hours where they could offer babysitting or being out in the playground area with some of the younger kids if parents needed to bring the kids if one of them's working on weekends and the other one can't come unless somebody's watching the kids. Just seems to me if we want to try to convince people to come back out to town meeting and vote from the floor in the future, we have to see if it's something viable on some other time than a Monday or Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or whatever, where people are working or the kids have to go to school the next day and they can't stay up. They both can't go. I remember,
Right.
Mercury stayed home with the girls because I went. So maybe we try a Saturday.
And kind of,
So do you have like a time idea? Because
I'm open to that
10 o'clock in the
discussion.
morning, I would think.
that early?
I would think so.
Wow. I'd go for the afternoon. I mean, I figured
a lot
they
of
just,
town meetings offer food, and that is a real draw. We
Yeah.
have things like, pies or whatever to bring people in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think,
We get some either it's a group that's trying to do a fundraiser or the kids
a lot of places it's.
raising money to go
Yeah.
to camp to Key Waden if the kids want to raise money or some of the high school kids want to raise, or just a group in town. Or just,
It doesn't have to be a fundraiser.
right,
can be a
or it could just
potluck.
be, yeah,
I think a
and-
townwide potluck would be really cool.
I just think,
well, you'd have to set it up, have it set so you'd have the meeting and then you'd break and everybody'd eat or, because you've got to have like some discussion of the
What other
articles,
towns do and what works well.
right?
There's a lot of
we
towns.
have a lot of time. That's
Yeah.
A lot of towns on TV the last week after town meetings that had potluck dinners and they had a big turnout for them.
I agree.
I like the idea of
Yeah,
almost
we can
anything to try to get people to come out so they
Yeah.
can at least be informed. For the next couple of years, I would assume, or the next, year, it's just informational meeting. So, but to be more informed as a group, hearing
So it'd be
from each
more like
other
a-
and talking, there were a couple of gentlemen who said that, they understood things now.
I love
Or if
that.
they hadn't been there, they'd still think what they were thinking. And then,
So I have to say, I went through the last 20 years of our voting. How many people showed up for town meeting, never have we had hundreds. The most you got was like 110. The last time we had 100 people at anything was the year that Rich died, and a lot of people came for the solidarity because people were really upset. What you see is that, but does that change in the Australian ballot? Well, for the last 3 years, you've had Australian ballot options. We didn't have we didn't have Florida. This year, it was because of the primary and the school budget, so it was up, but it still wasn't as high as the last time there was a primary that we could vote on in March. So, voter participation is really lacking. And the other piece of this is that when I was going through all my town reports to record all of this data, I just saw all the changes we made. And Mike, you made comments about that. In your book, you were making those changes. And this approach doesn't allow us to do anything with budget meetings, with the budget, and nobody even shows up for the budget hearings in the first place. So we're missing that for both the town and the schools, that we can no longer do that. So just pointing it out.
So this would be more like a lunch, I guess, so then, if you're gonna start that early?
I mean,
I thought
in the
maybe more
fall,
the afternoon
we
in
can
case,
definitely
but,
Figure it
nail it
out.
down in the fall.
Yeah.
Just a good feeling, and I'm glad it's fresh in everybody's mind on what we were thinking the other night on let's bring it up here. So I mean, moving till Saturday is pretty good.
And a lot of people did mention that they didn't want to drive at night, so.
right,
Right.
yeah, so you want it
Yeah,
during
you
the
want it
day,
earlier.
at some point. Early afternoon or something.
Yeah, you may want to encourage people to come to the budget meetings we have here. Because I was talking to, I think Diane was telling me that when, in Ludlow, their budget meetings, I think they had like 50 or some odd people there, which Brenda was so surprised, because we never got anybody when we were doing the budget. And the budget, you know, other than the articles, the budget is a big thing that people want to comment on. It's like, how do you encourage them to come when you're making all the decisions? Because I don't know how you ran the budget, because I know when Brenda did, I'm sure he did the same thing. Explain why this was going up, why you were changing this and all this stuff. I always found it very interesting. So how do you encourage people to come to that? Because that's when they, that's when they could really change something. So,
We do have,
How many people watch the recordings? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't really know. What do we
Like
They were
people
on-
who watch the recordings off
of
your
each
website?
meeting or like the town meeting?
No, these meetings.
The budget.
I mean,
Budget meetings.
it varies from
It could be.
almost nobody to maybe 40 or 50.
So
Online.
I'm saying if we remind them, next week we're gonna start our budget meetings, if you
But do
wanna.
you film the budget
have
meetings?
input.
You don't?
No.
not usually the
No,
budget,
no,
but a select board meeting.
But at least then they'll know we're gonna start them and we can tell them what day and we can say, if you wanna come, please come.
Well, the other option is you Zoom it,
Yeah.
and if you're Zooming it, you can record it and automatically have that go right as a live feed, even if it's on YouTube.
And I
And if you need to do more of that, and take some of the pressure off these guys.
do want
But we
to
never-
Hey, we enjoy it.
I do want to say as well, we do have open positions for a budget committee to be appointed, and I've always worked with a budget committee in the past. I think it's a great thing to have people come in and work on that for the budget committee, and I've always, we brought them around to this, not here, but in a budget committee, you bring them around to even different departments and say, this is the actual piece of equipment that we're looking to replace, or this is what we're doing. And I think those are some pretty, there's nobody on the budget committee in Cavendish right now, but I encourage anybody who wants to let us know. I think
Do
it's
we ever
great.
have a budget committee? I don't know.
Yeah, we have, in the past, we have, yes.
Yeah,
So everybody's okay with
remember
moving it to Saturday,
Yes.
Yes.
trying that out for at least 1 year.
Yeah,
The Saturday before the vote.
Yes.
yeah, so that's 3 days before.
And then are you suggesting also, Rick, to have a budget committee versus as kind of a new feature for the coming year?
oh, it's always been there, but nobody's on it, but I like working with the budget committee. I like,
Right, I can understand why.
I mean, it works out great for everybody, and and a lot of times what's in my mind are, doesn't come out to the public right then and there. But if you have the budget committee and you can explain and they can see it, the word spreads that much faster. Or or they see something that maybe you get another year out of this or something. It's just a good working way to do a budget.
Rick, I'd be interested in learning more about that, and if you want to go through that a little bit, I could try to help out in a way.
That's great.
How does the budget committee get it out to like the wider population? I think I'm missing something here. It's like a budget committee is X number of people, can't be like 5, so I have no idea.
We have two listed here, but I don't think we would limit. There might be some limit, but we wouldn't say 2 and that's it.
I guess the purpose.
I never remember more than 3.
Yeah, that's, I think, yeah, you're right.
Well, it sounds like it's more word of mouth too.
It seems to be more word of mouth, and a lot of times people, instead of calling and asking here or coming to the meeting, talk with their neighbors more, and then that's kind of how the committee can work
And
as
do they
well.
meet before you begin the budget process with
They
the
used to
board? Okay,
attend.
so when would your budget committee?
It probably wouldn't be real active until
So,
September, October,
Right.
and fall.
Well, that's good too. I think that's a great idea.
And I think-
Canvas to really get people
I think
involved.
we'll put it back
Thank
out
you,
there
Paul.
closer to August or
Sure.
September, since there's nobody on there now, or we'll talk as well. Yep.
But I would say Ludlow's budget is much larger than ours too, so the involvement there, you
No,
know,
I
you've got a
understand that.
lot more,
No, I understand.
so that's.
All right, if there's any other discussion? If not, we'll move on to town manager's report.
I just want to say with the town, the budget passing, I'll be putting together some different pricing and road options for pavement of the roads. I'll probably have that ready for April's meeting, so we can get out like a bid document relatively soon in the spring.
But they would be for after July, because the money would be available.
Right. Well, it's nice to go out to
At least get it lined up.
lined up and ready to go, and if you wait until July, those pavers are booked.
Yeah.
I'd like to also mention that the roads are finally starting to dry out a little bit. Not everywhere, but they're drying out.
Okay.
And I mean, we're still grading some now. We got the York rake out finally. But they're still pretty muddy in spots. So you can see, this section of road is graded, didn't grade for a few hundred yards, and then it's graded again. It's just too muddy to get on them. But they're drying out nicely this early, so let's hope it continues and we can really make a big difference quickly. I also wanted to mention that I will have something on Grevin Field for April's agenda. This year, with no field there, and even Ludlow's Little League field not coming back either, we've kind of teamed with, Ludlow using their fields this year. We're hoping to possibly get the use of Fletcher Field up and going enough for maybe T-ball. The reason being T-ball is like Grevin, like Ludlow's Little League field, Fletcher Field, its location, you can't really build a backstop.
Right.
T-ball doesn't really need one. So hoping we can put something together there good enough so T-ball can be there. But most of the games will be at Dorsey or the Pullen Field. Stephanie and Nick are working pretty hard on coming together with a schedule and making sure the things are well made. Because that's pretty much it for them. Grevin Field's going to be a big one next month.
Right. In the business, Dave, do you have anything?
Nope, I'm all set.
Shannon?
Nope, I don't have anything.
George?
A couple things. I was curious if anything else has happened with the academy, or is there anything on? Because at one point they were so hot that
I haven't heard anything since the since the survey was done. I haven't heard anything about a sale or any questions on whether or not somebody wants to come back to the board and ask for use of the property. I haven't heard anything.
And I know we talked before about as spring was coming, having a hearing on accepting the Village Green South part of that.
Which I think the first step there is, our next step there is a site
We
visit.
talked about a site visit, yeah.
And I didn't put
Which
it on
usually
there.
goes on with the here. You usually have a site visit and
Before
then come back. And have the-
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty close. It might even be in April as well. Well,
Yeah.
with another public hearing and
Right.
it might be a little bit further. It can't be put onto our
I guess May
stuff
would be
until
okay.
next year anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike?
the E911 numbers for
Thank you.
houses and stuff. Is there any way we can like help people?
My thought was, because
I know we all got one several years ago. I still have mine on my house and stuff, but
Don't have them still.
and I haven't done this yet, and that's my fault, but we were going to put a notification on the town's website on where to purchase them and a list of how to, kind of their guidelines on where to put them and how to put them. And that's what I thought direction we were going. Unless the board is thinking that the town has purchased them.
Could we use ARPA funds for that since there's a,
I can't remember if I paid for it or if
Some
Some-
people doesn't
So
pay
the way
for
you did it
themselves
last time was
last time.
you could order it through the town,
Right.
the town got a lower cost. This is certainly, I know for Mount Holly, what they do is you get your first one free. They have a particular group that makes them for them and they're double-sided. And the way they are placed, because people have these attached to their home, which are completely useless, as you two both know, when you are, and you would know as you drive up, you're looking for that sign in either direction, and those true E9 signs are absolutely glow in the dark. But if it's flat against the house, you can't see it, not as you're driving up. And so,
well, you get pretty good at finding numbers on houses as you're driving with the ambulance. We have the spotlights, so we can use those.
It does help.
But either way, just something that updating of
Yeah.
people who have lost or, it's gotten old and it just doesn't look good or it doesn't reflect very well. Those are the ones that are really great.
and then
Just-
we have new addresses.
Yeah.
And we do have new addresses, but I think if we did, that's one of the things we've talked a lot about in the long-term recovery committee is that we really need to have good E911. And I don't know how much Mount Holly can give you an idea. They give one away free, but then anything for more than you want for that, you've got to pay for it. And I think last time it was $15, which was less than what you'd do if you bought it from Amazon or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
So
And the
maybe,
fire departments each went out and installed them in
Right,
such a way.
people want them installed, yeah, we did
And
that.
you had them installed and they were done so people could really see.
maybe we could try to coordinate the same thing, at least get it cheaply for people. And that way it'd be more uniform in what it looked like. Everybody's not getting their own. We're all like looking for the blue number. It's blue.
right,
Yeah, so everybody's looking for the blue number with the white
Yeah.
rather than different
Green, right.
green or.
Green.
Some
Okay.
people have them on a piece of plywood where they painted it.
Exactly, I mean, we just really need to just be a lot more mindful, but I, as I said last time, it was really weird saying to people, turn right at the greenhouse. Because there weren't numbers on some of these
Yeah.
places, and you guys know this, you deal with this all the time.
Or it'd be somebody who had lived in town forever
Right.
and they'd say, yeah, it's right next to Tom's house. Well,
so that's something
not everybody knows that.
we'd also have
Thank
to
you for
coordinate
bringing
with
that
the
up.
fire departments. Is
Yeah,
that something the fire department is able and willing to install?
Yeah, we can
something
do
to?
that.
all right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was just curious if the, because we did some of the town ARPA things, but I guess the other ones are gonna be coming up, because I know we were sort of like, there was a lot to do with the water meter, different things that we had wanted to do, so.
Right, yeah, I think the water meter was one of the ones I put in. I definitely wanna have some buddy here at a board meeting kind of giving a not a demonstration, but a presentation.
Uh-huh.
There is different meters to go with. I've already gotten one quote, which I'll have, I'll get some more. But that's something I really wanna have a presentation before the board as well. That's a lot of money.
Did we, I don't recall just signing anything, I thought we had to sign something with that
There
contract,
is-
or is it just you signed it?
No, there was some stuff to sign. I was gonna hand it out and we kept on trucking along.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to disrupt.
You should probably sign it.
Yeah,
There's a few things.
before we move on.
These two are the parcel mapping.
Okay.
One's at 28,400. One of them is for 1,000, and that is to really update until April of this year, not last year. We have, this is the resolution that needs to be signed by the select board. I was hoping you were gonna go with the select board, so I prepared one already for signing. This one's just too Bob. This is how we voted or appointed tonight.
Oh, okay.
So myself and
Yep.
so
It's supposed to be here, it is.
Oh, no. Need a line on it.
I was impressed with my numbers for
Were those, was
my
that
seat.
something?
I did really well.
Yeah.
My opponent almost got no votes.
All right. I don't have anything. You all set, Mike?
I'm good.
Okay, have a motion to adjourn.
I will make said motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Hey!
All right.
Opposed? None?